When Richard Feynman, the Nobel Prize-winning physicist, approached language learning, he didn't follow conventional methods. He discovered something revolutionary that most language teachers never tell you about. Has this ever happened to you? You're trying to speak in your target language, and suddenly your mind goes blank as you desperately search for the right word, mentally flipping through vocabulary cards in your head while the conversation awkwardly stalls. Have you ever wondered why? Some people can pick up a new language in months, while others struggle for years without ever achieving fluency. What if I told you that your brain has been programmed to learn languages the wrong way from the very beginning? The difference between struggling forever and absorbing a new language effortlessly might just be a simple mental shift discovered by one of history's greatest minds. That frustrating experience isn't your fault. It's the result of a fundamental flaw in traditional language. Education. Most of us have been taught to create mental translation tables, see a dog, think perro in Spanish, then translate back to dog in English to understand it. This constant back and forth creates a massive cognitive bottleneck that prevents true fluency. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what you're about to discover might completely transform how you approach language learning forever. The secret lies in how children learn languages. They don't translate. They connect words directly to reality. When a child hears apple for the first time, they don't translate it to another word. They link it directly to the red, round, sweet fruit they're holding. This direct connection method bypasses the translation trap entirely. Imagine hearing the Italian word macchina, and instead of thinking, that means car, you immediately visualize a sleek vehicle moving down an Italian street. You feel the leather steering wheel in your hands, hear the engines purr, and smell that new car scent. This creates neural pathways that are dramatically more efficient than traditional memorization. What makes this approach so powerful is that it works with how your brain naturally processes information rather than against it. Your mind isn't designed to store vocabulary lists. It's built to create rich, multi-sensory associations. When you leverage this natural ability, language acquisition accelerates exponentially. The remarkable thing about Feynman's method is that it doesn't require special talent or linguistic gifts. Anyone can implement this approach regardless of age or previous language learning experience. But this direct visualization technique is just the beginning of the revolutionary process that can have you thinking in your new language within weeks instead of years. If you're ready to transform your language learning journey, hit that subscribe button to join our community of language enthusiasts applying these powerful techniques. I share insights like these regularly to help you master any language faster. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic because there's a hidden truth about language. Learning that transformed my entire mindset. It's not just about connecting words to images, it's about activating a completely different part of your brain through what I call the teaching revelation. You see, most people fall into the trap of passive learning. They listen to podcasts, watch videos with subtitles, or use language apps, and they think they're making progress. But here's the shocking reality. Your brain is incredibly efficient at creating an illusion of understanding. It convinces you that you've mastered something when you've barely scratched the surface. The real transformation happens when you try to explain what you've learned out loud. This simple act creates a profound cognitive shift. When you attempt to teach a concept, even if it's just to yourself in the mirror, your brain suddenly has nowhere to hide. The gaps in your knowledge become immediately apparent, forcing your mind to organize scattered information into coherent patterns. This verbalization Journey is the missing link in most language learning paths. By speaking out loud, you're not just reviewing information, you're actively reconstructing it, building neural highways that solidify your understanding. This simple practice can multiply your retention by up to 27 times compared to passive methods. That's not a small improvement, it's a complete paradigm shift. But there's another critical element that impacts everything: the quality of your concentration. Most people study languages with one eye on their phone, constantly interrupting their focus with notifications and distractions. They might study for hours, but make minimal progress because their attention is fragmented. The decision to structure your learning differently creates remarkable results. Instead of long, distracted sessions, break your study time into 30-minute blocks of complete immersion, followed by 10-minute breaks. During these concentrated blocks, eliminate every possible distraction and give your undivided attention to the language. This approach aligns with how your brain naturally processes and consolidates information. The intense focus activates deep learning pathways, while the strategic breaks allow your mind to cement what you've absorbed. 1 hour of this focused practice is worth several hours of distracted learning. What's fascinating about this method is how it creates a virtuous cycle. As your concentration muscle strengthens, your ability to visualize and connect words directly to experiences improves. As those connections strengthen, your ability to explain concepts becomes more fluid. Each element reinforces the others, creating an upward spiral of rapid improvement. The journey toward language fluency doesn't have to be the long, frustrating slog that most people experience. By applying these principles consistently, you'll notice a dramatic acceleration in your progress, often within the first week of practice. Write in the comments, "I'm breaking the translation habit," if you're ready to transform how you approach language learning. But here's where we encounter a fundamental revelation about how our brains actually work. Despite what traditional education has taught us, your mind wasn't designed as a storage box for memorizing disconnected lists of words. Evolution crafted our brains to connect, visualize, and create meaning through sensory-rich experiences. This insight completely transforms the language learning journey. When you come across the Spanish word manzana, the conventional approach tells you to memorize manzana, bark, apple, and repeat it until it sticks. But this method fights against your brain's natural architecture. Instead, picture a vibrant red apple. Imagine its weight in your hand. Visualize biting into its crisp flesh and taste that perfect balance of sweetness and tartness. Feel the juice running down your chin. Smell its fresh aroma. By creating this multisensory experience, you're engaging neural networks that are vastly more powerful than those used for rote memorization. Each sense you involve creates additional pathways to retrieve that word, anchoring it in your experiential memory. This is the same reason why you can instantly recall the smell of your childhood home or the taste of your favorite food. Sensory experiences create deep, lasting impressions. The beauty of this approach is how it aligns with your brain's inherent strengths rather than working against them. It's not about forcing yourself to study harder. It's about studying smarter by leveraging the way your mind naturally processes and retains information. This represents a complete paradigm shift in language acquisition. Now, bringing everything together, the practical implementation of what we call the Feynman method combines 3 powerful techniques into one cohesive system. Structure your learning into short, intensely focused blocks of 30 minutes, followed by 10-minute breaks. During these sessions, eliminate all distractions and immerse yourself completely in the language as if nothing else exists. Always connect words directly to vivid images and sensations rather than translations. Create rich, multi-sensory experiences for each new concept you encounter. And finally, solidify your understanding by explaining what you've learned out loud, either to yourself or to someone else. This systematic approach creates a powerful feedback loop. The focused sessions maximize your ability to form strong neural connections. The visualization technique ensures those connections bypass translation and link directly to meaning, and the explanation process forces your brain to organize that information into coherent patterns that you can access fluently. The impact of implementing all three elements together is far greater than using any one technique alone. It's like the difference between trying to light a fire with a single match versus using a blowtorch. The integrated approach ignites learning at an entirely different level, potentially accelerating your language acquisition by up to 27 times. Write in the comments, "Visualization is my new superpower," if you're excited to try this sensory-rich approach to language learning. So, there you have it, a complete reimagining of how to approach language learning, inspired by one of the greatest minds of the 20th century. What makes this method so powerful is that it works regardless of your age, background, or previous experience. With languages, it simply aligns with how your brain naturally processes information rather than fighting against it. If you found value in these insights today, I'd love to have you join our community of language learners and critical thinkers. When you subscribe, you'll get access to weekly videos where I break down complex learning concepts into practical, actionable strategies just like this one. I'm genuinely curious which of these techniques resonated most with you. Drop a comment saying, "My brain was made for this," if you made it all the way through and are excited to implement these methods in your own language journey. If this approach has shifted your perspective even slightly, that like button is a small way to let me know this content was helpful to you. It also helps others discover these ideas who might be struggling with the same language learning challenges. And if you're ready to take this even further, I've created a video right here that reveals the optimal daily schedule for language learning using these exact principles. Click and continue with me over there to discover how to structure your practice for maximum results with minimum time investment. I'll see you in the next one.